A number of months ago, Polyverse quietly released a beta version of their premier filter plugin, Filterverse, which included a number of filter types, the ability to chain 3 different filters together, and a host of modulation options, which meant that you could really do some cool and crazy things with sound. Updates to Filterverse have been steady and pretty impressive, with a host of new filters and other weird and wonderful ways to mangle sound. Well, I've been waiting for this latest release for a long time, because now with version 0.8.2, the Infected Mushroom Gang have 2 delay type filters, with the recent one having ping-pong capabilities. And man, is it a lot of fun. Version 0.9 brings with it several new filters, but the main one I'm going to cover is delay, because there are so many crazy things that you can do by stacking up multiple filters and delays with a nearly unlimited amount of modulation. With the Tempong filter, you can pretty much modulate anything you see on the screen, which means the delay time, the feedback, and even the type of ping pong that you have. Let's get into some examples. On the surface, this first patch is pretty simple. I've got 3 delays: quarter note, eighth note, and 16th note. I've added an envelope to dampen the sound a bit so it doesn't get too crazy, but it also separates the feedback amount in the left and right speaker. That's these 2 separated lines here. Here are the dry and wet sounds. That's a nice sounding delay, but one that is definitely not your typical ping pong. I've added 2 knobs of interest. First is the wet-dry, so that you can go between a very slight normal delay all the way to full-on pad/reverb territory. The drift is where the fun begins though. This is set up with a very slow sequencer on the division amount for each delay. This in effect provides a bit of detuning. It's subtle at 25 to 50%, but more defined past this point. Finally, the filter out is set on a sine wave to give a tremolo type effect. This can ramp up pretty harshly, so use the filter gain to drop the amount if necessary. Finally, one last trick. Switch the routing from parallel to serial, and you'll get a kind of shimmer reverb effect. You'll need to turn the master dry-wet knob down a bit, and also play with the envelope follower. This next one starts out with a serial routing of a vowel filter, and then the Swiss Army knife, and finally the delay. This one also uses a random detune by making adjustments to the division knob again. It can get pretty crazy, so let's turn it down a bit. Finally, adjusting the feedback, reso drive, and vowel knobs gets an icy cold sound that pairs great with bass and drums. For those who like pads, this one is for you because this works great on both pads and vocals, and especially vocals with pads. Or maybe padded vocals. Padded vocal pads? It pushes the Tempong delay and Swiss Army knife into a reverb, but each filter has a twist. The delay features randomization with the feedback, and Meta Knob 5 adds some spikes to the feedback, while Meta Knob 7 adds spikes to the division. The space filter also uses Meta Knob 5 to spike the resonance. Both of these take the vocals and pad and turn them almost into the sound of crashing waves. Just that sound is pretty awesome, but let's add filter 2 into the mix. This takes a low-pass filter with random changes to the cutoff and sequencer spikes to the resonance. This makes it sound like water dripping in a cave. You can adjust the droplets and waves to taste, or just turn them off completely for a more classical pad sound. The last example can do some pretty crazy things and works on a number of different sounds. It takes the two delay types, Tempole and Tempong, and adds the new Fractazar filter in the middle, all in series. This one ties the sine wave and sequencer 3 to envelope 2, so that you get a crazy tape stop when the threshold is crossed. The Fractazar has a nice slow sine wave on the cutoff, but a bit of randomization on the resonance. Finally, the Tempole has a quick bounce. You can check out Filterverse at the link below. It's still on sale at $99, which is a great price for the amount of power that this plugin has. That's it for today. Keep making great music. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the other side of the mountain.